This is Old Movies for Young Stoners, the podcast where cannabis is a gateway drug to classic cinema. Easter falls on 4/20 this year, so you can take massive bong rips and hunt for Easter eggs if you can afford them. But we here at Old Movies for Young Stoners aren't forgetting the reason for the season, the Son of God himself, Jesus Christ.
First, we got Ted Neely as Hippy Jesus in the film version of Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber's smash rock opera, Jesus Christ Superstar, directed by Norman Jewison, 1973.
And then Space Jesus comes to Cold War Washington D.C. with a message of cosmic peace and brotherhood. I wonder how that goes. You'll have to find out in sci-fi classic The Day the Earth Stood Still from 1951.
We can't walk on water or turn that water into wine, but maybe we can scrape enough resin for one last bong hit right here on Old Movies for Young Stoners. This is Old Movies for Young Stoners, the podcast that helps you ingest so much THC that you'll find God while watching 50s sci-fi movies and stoner musicals. Check out our website at oldmoviesforyoungstoners.com and please rate us, review us, and subscribe to the show on whatever podcast app does it for you. I'm Bob Calhoun, the Joe Rogan of the left. And joining me, she is the genderqueer, transpositive, feminist, Joe Rogan, Philena Franklin.
Hi, Bob and Cory.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for getting that stuck in my head again, Philena. Thank you.
Bitch, this is your fault.
Yeah, I came up with the whole idea for this show, and this shit's gonna come back on me sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
But let's also introduce our other co-host. He is the stoniest, funkiest, most anti-colonialist Joe Rogan, Cory Sklar.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening, Philena and Bob.
You know, all over Blue Sky and everywhere, everybody wants to know where the Joe Rogan of the left is. And we did a whole episode, an anti-fascist episode. So I want that liberal money to pour into this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, we got people to smoke weed and watch Death Race 2000. We've done our part, everybody. We've done our fucking part here.
Yeah.
Death Race 2000, if everyone watches that movie in America, it'd be a much better place.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I watched Rollerball because Norman Jewison directed that after Jesus Christ Superstar. So I watched Rollerball the other day. You know, I just remember Michael Weldon in the Psychotronic Encyclopedia film, his review of Rollerball is to tell us that Death Race 2000 is better. And he's right. Yeah. And now that I'm like, we're living through the fascist future America, it's way more like Death Race 2000 than it's like Rollerball. Rollerball is like a classy fascism, and this fascism...
Yeah, this is not classy in the slightest.
It's not classy. It's very much...
It's like Schindler's List versus like what's the Tarantino anti-Nazi, and you know that one, the
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds. It's like different things. I know Death Race was trying to be. They knew Rollerball was coming out, right? So they're like, oh well, we gotta get ahead of this and put out a different Rollerball. But it's scrappier. It's more dangerous. Like Norman Jewison was working with big budgets and
John Houseman.
John Houseman. You guys like big executives. He couldn't fuck it up. Okay, so. It's a different thing.
Yeah. Big stars like James Caan. Yeah, who was super huge at the time. It's weird to think about it. But hey, I've seen some recent movies, some movies that might even still be relevant.
Really?
By the time this podcast
were any of
out.
them stony?
They are all stony on some level or another. But I saw Freaky Tales the other night, which is maybe the stoniest movie currently in theaters. It's filmed in Oakland and San Leandro.
Cool.
It's like 3 interlocking tales. A lot of East Bay love. The Grand Lake Theater comes up a lot. Like
wow.
it's got the, this Pulp Fiction intersecting tales. It begins with Gilman Street punks fighting skinheads, kicking skinhead ass. It's got Pedro Pascal. He's in kind of the most normie story in the thing, if such a thing is possible, where he's the leg breaker for like mob figures who's trying to hang it up. So there's that kind of sad sack crime story in it. There's the story of Sleepy Floyd, who was a point guard for the Warriors and had an incredible scoring night against the Lakers with Magic Johnson, but he ends up going vigilante on a bunch of crackers and kills a bunch of crackers with samurai swords. There's some supernatural stuff in it. There's some stuff filmed at Dick's in San Leandro, which is kind of funny. It's this diner that's been closed ever since we moved here. And when Pedro Pascal and everybody showed up to film there, I see on the San Leandro Peeps website, the Facebook page, that all these old people were like, I think they're reopening Dick's. And they were all excited about it, but it was just Pedro Pascal. Too Short is in it.
Whoa.
Marshawn Lynch is in it.
This might be too Bay, this movie.
Yeah, it's very so Bay. It's like even more than Sorry to Bother You. It is the most black Oakland movie in a while. But it's fucking great. It's got, skinheads being disemboweled with like really, really low budget CGI. It's a great movie to get stoned to. And what I used for this movie is what I used for Jesus Christ Superstar. So hang in there. I'll tell you what to ingest with it when we get to our main feature today. But Freaky Tales, see Freaky Tales and be high as hell. It's great. It's and it's all set in 1987. So, but it's like, it's a lot more like the 80s I remember than what you usually see in 80s nostalgia, because they're at punk shows and people are just kind of wandering. There's a lot of people like kind of killing time in the way you did. It's not like, it's not that kind of glamorized kind of John Hughes 80s. It's very much the gritty kind of, we're seeing a punk show in a warehouse 80s. That was my 80s. So
you got me hyped. I'm hyped for Freaky Tales now.
Freaky Tales is fucking great. I mean, if you want to see like crackers and skinheads get their asses kicked, this is the movie for you. There's a high quotient of Confederate crackers being disemboweled by samurai swords and things.
Nice. It sounds like it'd be a good double feature with Green Room, where a bunch of skinheads also.
Green Room. If you've done like van tours and shit, Cory, right? Where you go to like venues like that, like
yes.
Green Room, I think traumatized both me and Philena's dad, because we had played in like fucking out of the way shows. It's like, this could have easily gone this way.
I'll never forget playing a show, and I was like a kid wearing like a crass shirt and tartan pants and playing bass in a punk band. And I'll never forget like an old man, white, big giant man with a bald head and a bomber jacket, just throwing a bottle directly at my head saying, "You're not punk." Oh. And me going, "What?" And just like picking up my bass and running as fast as I can out of that club. And like, and Green Room hits that target pretty good.
That's scary.
Greg and I, when Greg was playing guitar for Count Dante, we did a show at Linda's Doll Hut in Anaheim, and it was totally...
my God, that place is still there, by the way, by Disneyland.
Yeah, no, it was filled with skinheads. It was filled with Nazi skins.
It's a historical, like, racist punk bar,
Yeah, and I, fortunately...
It's cool, though. You should go.
No! No, I'm not going.
It's supposed to be cool now there. Go on, Bob.
I feel ashamed, but because, the whole Count Dante thing was heavy on oratory.
Yeah.
I'm hyping the crowd about my success seminar. I will teach you how to gain the mount on success in the boardroom and the bedroom. And they were fucking eating it up because they just want some fat white piece of shit to say shit to them, and they will follow you. They all bought our CDs. And I was like, kind of like, and you're just, after a while, you're like, we have to get our $80 because we need the gas to get back to San Francisco, and or whatever it was, $50, whatever we were going to get paid. So we had to like be nice to these people long enough to get the fuck out of there. But yeah, after we play and there's all these skinheads and they're all hyped and it's really fucking scary, I walk out into the front out of the bar, and there's the Disneyland fireworks going off. And that was like the most American fucking thing. I wish Greg was here to talk about it because it's one of our old war stories. But
I want to know what he thinks about Jesus Christ Superstar. So
I could tell you what he thinks about Jesus
okay, cool.
Christ
I would like to hear that.
He doesn't.
I kind of bullied him into the last episode because it had animation. I'm like, please, Greg, come on. Like, this is served up to you.
And that Count Dante song was amazing.
Thank you.
I never heard that song before. That was awesome.
I try to be sparing on the Count Dante songs in this. I think I've only used
that's
them
Bob
twice.
singing everybody on that song last episode. It was amazing.
Yeah?
What's that song called?
Come to my seminar.
Come to my seminar.
The skinheads loved it. They loved that song.
I listened to that song 4 times. I was like, wow, this kicks ass. Yeah,
I'll send you the whole song.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, Freaky Tales is great. I also saw that Led Zeppelin documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
It is, if you're watching that for like any kind of journalism, like kind of discussion of their pedophilia with the groupies or any reflection on stealing music from black people or anything like that is not in this. It is a piece of entertainment. It is not a piece of journalism. Although there are some revelations, like I didn't know that John Paul Jones played the bass in Goldfinger, the themes, the James Bond theme song.
He's amazing. John Paul Jones is amazing. As long as there's John Paul Jones content in that movie, I'll be happy.
There's a lot of John Paul Jones content. The John Bonham content is all archival interviews.
Of course.
They do.
He's dead, so I figured that.
Yeah. They didn't have a seance. They do a thing that documentaries don't usually do, is because it is like, boomers are going to see this to hear music, and they showed it in IMAX in a lot of venues, and it's coming back to IMAX probably by the time this episode drops. They will play out like, here's Led Zeppelin playing in the Netherlands or whatever, some show from 1969, and they will play out a whole song like a concert film here and there.
That's you know what? It's a movie to smoke a joint and sit in a movie theater too. You know what I mean? And God bless they're putting things in the movie theater. It was playing out here where I'm at in Arkansas, thank God, and I missed it. And I got to take advantage because I don't get a lot of movies out here. And the movie theater is closed on Sunday because of church shit. Can you believe that? That's like the day I want to go to the movies, right?
Yeah, the fuck?
But I'm really upset because Pink Floyd live at the volcano, what is it called?
Pompeii.
But Live at Pompeii is touring right now in the States, and it's not coming here, and I'm very upset about that.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Go out, people. Go see that movie because then they'll put more stuff out like that. And there's a new Prince concert coming out, too, on IMAX. I highly recommend everyone go see it. I saw a preview of that.
Cory, how's life in Arkansas?
It's different. It's different.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I like it out here. It's cool.
Okay,
well,
nice.
There's ticks, first of all. We don't have ticks in California. They don't exist.
No.
They have them, but they're little. You've got those ticks out there that are like as big as your fist.
Yeah. No, but it's a beautiful part of the country. I'll say that.
How's the barbecue? Have you found good barbecue out there?
I've avoided eating Southern food for some reason. It's like it hasn't hit me yet. I just trying to eat as healthy as possible for some reason because I just feel the oil in the air.
Once you start, you're going to be as big as me. You're gonna gain 120 pounds, and
we'll see. Maybe I don't. We'll see the barbecue. I'm going to confess something to you guys right now. Okay, I don't like Tex-Mex food that much. It's not spicy. It's just real cheesy. You know what I mean? I like spicy Mexican food. So barbecue's kind of like Tex-Mex flavor. It's like sweet and watered down stuff. But anyway, we'll see what happens out here with the bar. I'll give you a barbecue report. Next episode, I promise to have a barbecue report.
Yes.
It's all about the meat falling off the bone in the right way, which Philena, you wouldn't understand anything about that, but it's gross. It's carnivore behavior. It's,
you know what I do know about though is mac and fucking cheese.
There's a lot of that out here. I'll tell you what. Well, I'm in Walmart land, so there's like Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Walmart has a mac and cheese aisle, Philena. It's like all different flavors of mac and cheese.
Aisle.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the goat of fucking mac and cheese in my brain and in my freezer is fucking Stouffer's. Stouffer's has the best opinion. Yeah. Fucking mac and cheese.
And I like the lasagna and I like the French bread pizza. Okay, sue me.
The French bread pizza's gotten crappier over the last few years.
It has. I haven't picked it up in a while.
I've never had that.
Okay.
I've only ever had the mac and cheese, but it fucks.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I do live in a place that has all the fast food places that we don't have around SoCal and NorCal, like Culver's and Whataburger and Raising Cane's and all these places. A lot of them. Zaxby's.
There's a Raising Cane's in North Hollywood.
In Burbank, I know. And
it has been coming into
they've been expanding, yeah. And Schlotzsky's. Remember Schlotzsky's?
I don't know what that is.
We have that. But I got to tell you, nothing stacks up to In-N-Out. I miss In-N-Out Burger a lot.
I understand.
Did you see that thing where Steak and Shake, the like Midwest one, like Roger Ebert's favorite place, the Steak and Shake has gone totally fascist?
They've gone MAGA. Gone MAGA, the Steak and Shake. Yeah, I never liked Steak and Shake. I'll be honest with you.
I liked their shakes. Their shakes were great because they were all ice cream. Their burgers were okay. They had one in Daly City briefly, and I reviewed it for RogerEbert.com because Roger Ebert writes about how In-N-Out sucks and Steak and Shake. I mean, it's very eloquent. I mean,
he was wrong about so many things, including that.
Yeah, he was. And that was what my reviews basically ended up saying.
There's this new place in Burbank called Sliders, and it's a make your own ice cream sandwich place.
Is it good? Have you been there?
Yes, I've been. I went with Sage and my friend Kenzie, who I watched both of the movies with.
Oh, cool.
So we've got lots to talk about. Sage is here. I'm going to pull him up later. But we went to Sliders, and Sage wanted to get a brownie. And they have these thick fucking brownies. And we're like, oh, he's going to cut it in half for sure. He gave us 2 massive fucking brownies with a buckload of ice cream in the middle. It was, we ended up leaving with something this big. An ice cream sandwich that was this big.
Well, that place isn't going to be open much longer.
Oh, they got them. They'll just kind of, squeeze the amounts, but they've got everybody going now.
Well, This is exciting, Philena. Thank you for that report. I am excited to build my own ice cream sandwich. I'm going to put a whole bunch of bullshit in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would too.
Pop Rocks and
they even got a Dubai chocolate flavor.
Ooh,
the Dubai chocolate with the pistachio like nafe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trendy thing. Bob, have you been seeing that?
I haven't seen that. Hasn't jumped up into our ice cream yet.
Oh, it will. It will. Don't worry.
By the way, in Freaky Tales, Lords, LOARDS, apostrophe S, the ice cream, basically the buy right of San Leandro, like at least one of the kind of better East Bay ice creams. That is prominently featured as 2 young rapper women work there and have to take shit from a racist cop while they're there. So the appearance by Lords was greatly appreciated in Freaky Tales. Like you said, it's 2 East Bay, Cory. It's the most East Bay movie ever.
Yeah, I'm a Mitchell's guy myself, and that's yet to be in a movie. So,
Mitchell's is I'm Mitchell's too. People in San Francisco get into clawhammer fights over Mitchell's versus Buy Right.
Mitchell's is much better than Buy Right.
Mitchell's fucks hard.
Yeah.
Apparently when I was in the womb, my mother would eat the Thai tea ice cream.
That's great.
And now it's my favorite, along with the macapuno, the one that's coconut and mango.
Ooh, I'm into it.
Oh,
before we get into our movies, which I think we're raring to go, I just want to do a little bit of mailbag here. And Tate Ferguson recently wrote us, and one of our previous episodes, Cory said, write to us with your requests, and Tate did. Woo-hoo. He wants us to cover the 7-Ups, cover this movie, he writes. A great early 70s NYC crime drama starring Roy Scheider, directed by the producer of The French Connection, gritty New York City 70s atmosphere featuring driver actor Bill Hickman in the car chase. He also drove in and/or coordinated chases in Bullet and The French Connection. This chase is easily the equal of those two 70s cars careening around New York Upper West Side. Cover this movie, you guys. And even, I'm going to give him points. He even tells us where to find it. Currently on Amazon. Thanks for the great show. And Tate, it is on our list. We've got this episode. We've got some theme episodes coming up, but we will get it on the show soon. And thanks for writing it.
Suggestion. Yeah, I've never seen that. Sounds right up my alley. Philena, have you ever seen To Live and Die in L.A.?
No.
Sounds like it would be a good match for that because there's some French connections there too.
That's actually a great movie, and it has Jesus Christ himself, Willem Dafoe, in it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
the real one.
The real actual Jesus. He has to turn his leg when he's crucified so we don't see his big dick, which I've heard that Willem Dafoe has a very large dick.
Yeah, everyone talks. It's all anyone talks about in that town.
What, San Francisco or Oakland? Or
Bethlehem.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, the high priest had called another meeting of the rulers of the temple for the purpose of plotting Jesus' death. And at the very same time that the rulers of the temple were plotting, Judas Iscariot was making his way from Bethany toward Jerusalem. By then, Judas' mind was filled with evil thoughts. Hungry for money, Judas was now thinking of a plan to gain his own ends.
I wonder what the priests of the temple would do if I were to lead them to Jesus. No doubt they would pay well to know how they could trap him.
And so, having decided upon a plan, Judas was more determined than ever to see the priests of the temple. There, the discussion over Jesus was still going on. So far, all their attempts to trick Jesus had failed, but they were still trying to find some way to trap him. But just then, a guard came in to tell the high priest, Caiaphas, that there was a man outside who wanted to see him about a matter of great importance.
This man is Judas Iscariot, follower of Jesus of Nazareth. He tells me that he will see to it that Jesus falls into our hands.
What will you give me if I deliver him to you?
What do you think is a good price to offer this man?
30 pieces of silver is the price of a slave.
That is a goodly sum.
Let us pay him now and bind the bargain.
It wasn't long after the Summer of Love in 1967 that the hippies had their come to Jesus moment. I mean, they already looked like him, so why not go all the way with it? A storefront church in the Haight-Ashbury called The Living Room converted 20 flower children to Christ a week in 1968. Down in Southern California, hundreds of hippies flocked to evangelist Chuck Smith's mass baptisms in the bracing waters of the Pacific at Pirates Cove in Costa Mesa. Time magazine dubbed this the Jesus Revolution in 1971 with a Dayglow cover that made our Savior look like he was headlining a show at the Fillmore with the Jefferson Airplane. With the hippie revival in the air even in the UK, Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber, both in their early 20s at the time, began work on a rock opera about Christ's last days. Influenced by the penultimate verse of Bob Dylan's With God on Our Side, Rice's lyrics considered Judas's point of view, while Webber composed the title song's earworm melody on a napkin in a restaurant called Carlos Place when the inspiration seized him. Unable to get the backing to mount a stage version of it, they signed a deal with MCA Records and produced it as a concept album with Ian Gillan of Deep Purple singing the part of Jesus. The single of the title song topped the charts in several European countries, and the album was #1 on Billboard's US charts in 1971. This success brought on several unauthorized stage productions around the US and Canada until an official production opened on Broadway in October '71. Early on, director Norm Jewison secured the film rights from MCA and made it as the follow-up to his blockbuster film version of Fiddler on the Roof. filmed in Israel and occupied Palestine with some support from the Israeli government, with Ted Neely as Jesus Christ and Carl Anderson stealing the show as Judas from 1973. This is Jesus Christ Superstar. Cory, this is your pick. Why don't you tell us about it?
I love this movie, Jesus Christ Superstar. I've seen it many times. And I first got into the original album, as you mentioned, with Ian Gillan and Murray Head, because, when you're a metal kid and you get into Sabbath and Deep Purple and stuff, then you got to hear the rest of the stuff. And it rocked so hard. It rocked my socks off. It's so good. The original band on that release is the Grease Band, who is like Joe Cocker's band from Woodstock. They're amazing. They kill it. Like, I don't think Jesus Christ Superstar is so great because Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice as much as the band that made the songs what they are, because they never rocked again after Jesus Christ Superstar. So the fans of this musical are strictly in two camps usually. I like the album, I like the movie, or I like the movie. I like them both. I see the beauty in both. So I love the movie version a lot because the key to Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's my favorite musical. I've seen a lot of productions of this, and most productions missed the mark. Because the key to this musical is that you got to just be like fucking full of madness, like just screaming the whole time. Fucking Judas is just like tortured the whole time, and Carl Anderson brings that madness to the screen. It's like, oh my God, what? And Jesus, Ted Neely, who is just like a garage rock singer guy, he brings a tenderness to Jesus, and he also brings that madness, that's craziness. So I don't think it would work without those two leads. It's not as rockin' as the original concept album. That's always been an issue with this movie. The music is quieter for some reason. So that's hard. I feel like if the music was louder, people would like this movie more. I know Matt Berry is currently working on a remaster of this soundtrack, which is where he's trying to make everything louder and rock more. So that's cool. That's good news. And I think Jesus Christ Superstar was just an album, and the play versions didn't do that great. So it's kind of and it's, as you know, there's no dialogue. It's all just sung through. So there's a lot you can do with it. It's an empty palette. And I really love the framing of Norman Jewison in this movie. It's kind of ingenious to frame it as a bunch of hippies going to the desert to put on a show. And then it gets blurred and things are weird and it gets psychedelic. And was it a show they put on? What happened? I don't know. They never really answer it in the movie. I love the ending of the movie. I love everything. There's a couple shots that date it too much. And we can talk about that. But it's very of its time. I kind of think that Jesus Christ Superstars out of the 70s don't work as well because they always try to modernize it. And it's very 70s, early 70s hippie shit. And that's how it should be viewed. But I can't wait to hear what you guys think about Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie.
Jesus gave me the ick.
Really?
I thought he was a pick-me.
He's kind of the bad guy in the movie, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He totally is, because I sympathized way more with Judas. He was spitting facts, and I do like that. That's a perspective that this movie took instead of the traditional route.
The church hated this shit. They thought it was sacrilege to present Judas as the good guy.
Yeah. But, and I also think having it set in the 70s, it totally highlights the cultiness of it all, because at the same time, fucking Manson and,
Yeah. Madness. People were just
madness.
They were crazed with Jesus and religion and,
Yeah.
and LSD and all that shit.
Very much so felt like what I imagine culty 70s behavior was like. It was like, damn, Christianity really is a cult, ain't it? Yeah, the Jesus Christ, the great Jesus Christ, that
That's Joshua Mostel as King Herod, who is gets one song and it's very gay.
And it's the best one. And it's
King
the
of
best
the Jews
song. Yeah.
Yeah, Alice Cooper did that in that John Legend TV production, and Alice Cooper has done it in other glitzy productions of it, and he of course makes it maybe less queer, but it's still like he makes it more creepy. You are the Christ, the great Jesus Christ.
Well, it's a stylistic change in the music, right? The change is kind of prog rock in a proto metal before, and then that's like the song and dance song that for some reason every British album in the 60s and 70s has to have like a Tin Pan Alley song. The Beatles started this mess and it's awful. And but I agree, it's a good song. That's the Tin Pan Alley song in the musical. Yeah.
It wakes you up. It does wake you up after you're kind of tired of hearing the refrains of the other songs, which it's a musical, it's an opera. It does that.
Yeah.
The Pontius Pilate played by the great Barry Dennen, also from The Shining. It's a bit of a slog if you're not like really into it, right? Like, I mean, they count every one of those lashes on his back.
They sure fucking do. And you are so right, Bob. You are so right. It's an opera. It's not a musical. It's a fucking opera. There are no lines. There's no.
Yeah.
I mean, there's acting in it because but it's not. And the Mary Magdalene song is obviously stuck in my head.
I don't know how to love him. That one.
Yes.
Oh God.
Okay.
that was a big hit in the 70s.
And it's still a big hit because I know bitches audition with that song now. Like that. I know that's just strictly an audition song nowadays.
Yeah. I went to go see this. I go to see this in the theater whenever I can because I love it. And I went to go see it in the theater recently with the two stars of the movie, Ted Neely Jesus and Yvonne Elliman, who played Mary Magdalene. And it's kind of like you pay a little more. It's like $20 a ticket, and you pay to hang out with them in the theater and watch the movie with them while they like tell stories and we laugh and stuff. And Yvonne Elliman was telling some story, and she got shushed in her own movie. Anyway, I just had to relate that story. It just happened recently.
That's crazy.
I was shocked.
Was it like a commentary track thing?
No, we were just all sitting in a little theater in San Clemente or something, but you sit around Ted Neely and Yvonne Elliman, and they'll chat about the movie. But they're the stars of the movie, Bob. They should talk over their movie.
They got shushed.
Now, as somebody who was raised as a Christian, as a Catholic. In this movie, it was still the 70s, but I mean, even when you're a kid, even when you're 10, or 9, the early 70s seem way different than the late 70s. Very much.
It was still the 60s.
Yeah. It's like this seemed dated, but it would be a big deal, and I'd watch it because it's a rock and roll thing, a rock opera. I will say that the part of Judas singing like Jesus, why aren't we helping the poor? Why is it all about you? And like that affected me. It was like, I'm like, I think Judas is right about this stuff. And I'm going to go to hell for this. This is the episode I will go to hell for, even more than the devils or anything else we've done. But Jesus is a whiny bitch in this movie.
Yes.
And
yes.
I also ended up watching Last Temptation because all the Jesus movies are on Prime right now, everybody. Scorsese threads the needle a lot better, and the unfortunate Paul Schrader. Defoe is staying on course with the teachings, I think, more than this musical does or this opera does. But yeah, it really gave me an existential crisis, this movie. And watching it, I know.
How old were you when you saw it?
Like 9 or 10.
Wow.
It was amazing. Just on the Channel 2, like KTVU, used to just be movies. Like, the 8 o'clock movies. So that's what was on.
Jack Lemmon and Catherine Deneuve, The April Fools. Tonight's 8 o'clock movie on Channel 2.
There was no Fox network yet. There was no Simpsons. There was no X-Files or any of that stuff that happened in the late 80s. It was just like movies every night.
There's only one, two.
So that's what they were showing. And so around Easter, it would be Jesus Christ Superstar, which seemed a lot cooler than the other Jesus movies, the older ones. And so, I'd watch it, and watching it now, I know I didn't make it all the way through this thing. I will say that.
Yeah.
But it's like the Judas songs are up front. So of course that's the first thing I see. And then I'm tripping out over all the Israeli fighter jets and tanks that are in it and all the anachronisms and the dudes in their hard hat helmets, the silver hard hat helmets carrying the spears and wearing tank tops and shit. Like that stuff was all really cool to me. But yeah, Carl Anderson really just he is the moral force of the movie.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson, and he's cool. He's like Huey Newton of the Black Panthers or something.
I mean, he plays this part with a lot of heart and soul. And I mean soul, like soul, music soul, and human soul. I think I go on, Bob. I'm with you on that. Yeah, he's the star of the movie.
Yeah.
The other thing that saves this movie for me, it's not one of my favorites, but it's the direction of Norman Jewison, and I have to say the camera work of DP Douglas Slocum.
Yeah.
Like the way it follows them around, the way shots are framed. There's this one part where it might be even during the What's the Buzz song. I forget
where it goes inside the cave. It's like going inside that part. That's amazing.
That stuff is amazing. Slocum, he did the cinematography for Raiders of the Lost Ark with Spielberg and several. And I think all the first Indiana Jones movies through Last Temptation of Indiana Jones, Last Crusade. He followed Norman Jewison after this to Rollerball. So just a great unsung cinematographer. There's this one shot in there where it's about the framing, not so much the camera work, but it's about the framing of the characters. And they're all having this hippie love-in and singing this song. And then you have Judas off to the side, kind of side-eyeing it. And it's like, where he's like, oh man, God, these fucking posers. He just Jesus Christ, and we've all been at a party like that where everybody else is having a good time and you're not. And anybody in the audience watches this movie, just look for that, because I really felt watching it this time, I really felt Judas again, because Judas is the light of this movie.
Yeah, and it happens at every leftist group or hippie co-op or what's it called when a bunch of polyamorous people live together?
Oh, the Kuhl.
The Kuhl, yeah.
Oh,
it's like you start off with two.
No.
You start off with two homies, and they're homies, and then one of them gets their head too big, and the other one's like, "Hey man, this is fucked up." So yeah, it's just like that. You're right, Bob. We've all seen that happen.
Yeah, and the shot captures that as much as maybe the songs or the performances, the way that the actors are framed together, and the way Carl Anderson is framed with the all the hippie dancing off to the side, kind of just side-eyeing it with the look.
It's a hard story to tell visually because they didn't have anything to work off of. So the way they did it was good. I do wish they went a little harder or more rock and roll or avant-garde sometimes, but that's not Norman Jewison. He's Rollerball. He's not Death Race. You know what I mean? But he has a vision, and he is artistic, and he knows what makes a good movie. I want to know what you thought of the Pharisees, the guys. The guys that were trying to get Jesus killed, Philena, the guys in the bondage gear.
The puffy hats.
Of course, I know.
I love those
weird,
guys.
Anal butt plugs on their heads. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were like Leather Daddy chef hats, but anal butt plugs.
It does look like a night at the Eagle in San Francisco, those guys.
So, I don't know. Some of their voices I was not as keen on.
Guy like Caiaphas, he has the deepest voice.
Yeah, but then there's
he has that one line, he goes, Jesus is cool.
No, I was thinking of the other guy who was like,
yeah, the high voice guy.
Yeah, right. That fucking high voice guy was like, I don't know. I feel like
they didn't leave an impression on you. Okay, I get it.
Not as much. Because honestly, I feel like half of this movie could have been cut.
Really?
Sorry.
Interesting.
I feel like some of these songs were fucking long. Some of these songs didn't capture all of my interest. I was a little bit bored at some point.
I get it.
At some points.
I get it. Bob, so yeah, the budget of this thing was $3.5 million, which is a lot at the time. It ended up being a hit.
Damn.
It ended up being a hit. It made like $30 million or something. Bob, there is the song that they added after the fact called "Could We Start Again, Please?" And "Could We Start Again, Please?" And Yvonne Elliman was saying that Coca-Cola ripped that scene off for the "I'd like to teach the world to sing." Do you agree or disagree with that?
You know, I can't really say because that gets into like, I think that ad campaign is older.
Okay,
but
she was wrong.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to do research to really speak on that. I watched this by myself on Cesar Chavez Day. And because I get Cesar Chavez Day off because I work for a California university. So it was time to watch this. But then later, Rosie and I watched Last Temptation because I hadn't seen it in years. And we're just kind of chugging along watching it. And then like David Bowie shows up as Pontius Pilate in that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, that's David Bowie. And, you know, it's like, but then you kind of want like, why wasn't he a Jesus Christ Superstar?
He was in The Elephant Man.
Yeah. I mean, Harry Dean Stanton is one of the zealots in that, and he keeps telling Harvey Keitel to kill Jesus.
A great Peter Gabriel soundtrack.
Yeah. I'm like...
as a Jew, I love Jesus as a subject matter because it's like foreign to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, same. Yeah. I mean, I grew up fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So, I was going to get into that with you, Cory, because it seems like I'm like, you know, I'm getting anti-Semitic, I guess, because of the air we breathe right now. But I'm like, what is it? What is it with every Jew I know loving Jesus Christ Superstar?
Well, it's an anti-Jesus play.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's not true. This is my takeaway from the story. Is like I said before, like they were punk rock, they were homies starting this punk rock movement, right? Judas and Jesus, and I really like Carl and Ted Neely's acting in this movie. I really feel like they were homies when they look at each other and they hold each other's hands and they cry at each other and stuff. You jaded Mandarin, like that whole scene, like it feels like they're homies. And then because it's neither of their fault this is happening, it's just God's will. It's written. So God, those Israeli tanks and shit, like pushing them, that's the hand of God pushing them to do shit they don't want to do. Like Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane is even like, I don't want to do this shit. You're making me, you know what I mean? So that's the ultimate thing is like God is the bad guy in this. And I think that's cool.
There's a little bit of that in The Day the Earth Stood Still later with Gort.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Gort is the Israeli tanks.
Now I do. Yeah, yeah. I love this Christian hippie shit. I don't know why. I was trying to get Bob to do this in a double feature with Godspell. And he's like, no, we're not doing that. That's too much Christian hippie shit. We're not doing. And I'm like, I respect that. I'm like, okay. But God, if you and Sage want to watch some hippie Jesus shit, watch Godspell too. It came out like the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get Sage in here, and
I would love to hear Sage's opinion. That would be great.
Okay, while you go get them, I will blather about the director for a little bit. So
please, Norman Jewison is kind of an underrated guy. So please,
both directors, the directors of both movies today, are known for their versatility. They're very versatile, eclectic directors. Robert Wise, directed.
Would you describe them as journeyman directors? No,
they're a little too good for that.
Okay.
I mean, that would be somebody who was doing a lot of television as well or something.
Okay, thank you.
But no, they have a style, but that style is really based on quality, and they tend to go with the material first and let the material dictate the style of the film more than them like a Scorsese or Hitchcock imposing the style on the material. But yeah, Norman Jewison went from directing he directed In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier, a great crime movie. Then he directs Fiddler on the Roof, then this, and then Rollerball, and he directed Moonstruck, which is one of the best romantic comedies ever. And we'll talk about Robert Wise later, but Robert Wise jumped around genres and made, people's top 10 classics in the process. Both of those guys were able to do that. And we've got Sage on the line here.
Sage, welcome to the show. This is your show debut. We're so excited to have you.
Hello, old stoners.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh,
okay,
good.
Jesus Christ Superstar, 1973. Directed by Norman Jewison, not a Jew, by the way. What did you think?
I have thoughts, feelings, and opinions about Jesus Christ Superstar that are coming from a place I grew up without religion, but I knew about the general story of Jesus. I disliked it.
Wow.
I don't like operas, so I'm a little biased. But it just, the whole time I was watching it, I wish I was doing something different. It just, I don't know. Like, I will give an opera a chance if the music is enjoyable.
You don't like funky rock and roll, then, is what you're saying.
I do like funky rock and roll, just not this funky rock and roll.
Okay, all right. Well, I would argue that this is the funkiest rock and roll, but I understand.
It's pretty funky. It is pretty funky. I was invested solely in Judas.
Yeah, isn't Judas good, though?
He was giving it his all.
Yeah, that's a good actor, right? A good singer.
He was giving it his all, and I commend him for that.
That's good. If anything, you took away that, hey, this performance was kind of powerful.
Exactly.
That's
100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good. And Carl Anderson as Judas is undeniable.
Just so good.
Yeah.
I did say earlier that this movie shook my Catholic faith and led me to the path of atheism, among other things. So, because
it does its job a little bit. Yeah.
Like Judas is right. Now,
he's right.
You know, it's like, why aren't they doing more? Why is it just Jesus wanting to be in a cuddle puddle all the time? Like,
literally,
that's what's going on. It's like a fucking cuddle puddle over there.
Mm-hmm.
And Judas is like, we
it's
were supposed to help
bullshit
the poor.
Is what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you because some of those songs have been stuck in my head all week. And then I did listen to the original concept album as well, which is better. But I'm like, God damn it. These songs will never be out of my head now.
Yeah.
I'm listening to
they
it
got
again.
stuck.
Well, if Sage and Philena, you want more Andrew Lloyd Webber hits, check out Evita and Cats.
Oh,
Cats,
well aware of Cats.
Well,
part of the genesis of the show is me and Cory seeing Cats at the Grand Lake.
Cats?
Yeah, we saw Cats.
Oh, really?
It was terrible. Yeah, I felt that when I was watching Cats, I felt the way you felt watching Jesus Christ Superstar.
You wish you were doing anything else.
Yeah.
Even with all the shots of Fireball we had at Smitty's before, we drank it just seemed like I've never drank Fireball for or since. But when we were in that bar waiting to see Cats, I'm like, let's have some shots of Fireball. It just seemed like the right
idea.
Yeah, it was the right thing for
that's
moment.
What Cats do. Sage, thank you so much. This was amazing. It was amazing seeing you and getting your debut. And I hope you come back on the show and give us some thoughts, opinions, and feelings on another movie in the future.
Hopefully, maybe better ones, maybe better opinions.
That's hard. No, probably not.
Maybe not.
Maybe you're into horses. Maybe we can do some feminist westerns again, or noir westerns. Yeah,
that's a sick horse shirt.
Yeah,
thank you.
We heard all about Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and your adventures with that. And
yes,
I don't know which episode that cropped up in, but
one of them. For
Is
sure.
there any movies where horses talk or play baseball or something or basketball? That would be awesome. I would watch one.
Not that I can think of, but if I'll do some research and I'll let you know.
Yeah, if you could, but it has to be old.
I'll find some old crazy horse movies just for you guys.
Thanks, Sage. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for putting up with me and Cory and Phelena's dad, Greg, torturing you with these movies.
Yeah, and Sage,
what? That's
it's better
fine.
when you don't like the movies for the podcast, okay? Just letting you know that. So.
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
and
good.
I will always have thoughts, feelings, and opinions. But
otherwise, it's just a cuddle puddle, and we're just saying it's a great movie.
Yeah.
We aren't helping the poor anymore. We aren't bringing down the Roman Empire. We're just cuddling.
We're just sitting around getting ointment on our head and feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
You listen to the lyrics.
I did. All right.
Right.
I can't wait to hear the other half of that conversation when this podcast comes out.
Okay.
I played Caiaphas in a production last summer.
Oh, wow. That's
Angeles.
right. Yeah, I'm sorry
and it was my dream role, and I've always wanted to play Caiaphas, who's the guy with the deep voice.
You're a great Caiaphas. You are a great Caiaphas. Yeah.
He's my favorite.
The priests and Pharisees who had gathered with the high priest Caiaphas were greatly alarmed by the reports of the activities of Jesus.
Now, when I was 8 years old, at Garfield Elementary School in Redwood City, I did play the baby Jesus in a Christmas, a school Christmas show, which gave me no lines. I look back on it and it's like, I'm the star of the show, but I don't have anything to fucking do. I just sat there and there were people playing the wise men. It was a Christmas thing. And Ricky Salas, instead of giving me frankincense or myrrh, he gave the baby Jesus his Chewbacca t-shirt. So that was like the big laugh line in the whole thing. Ricky Salas, haven't thought about the guy in 45 years, but
and see, this movie does one magical things.
Yeah,
find him on Facebook.
Probably influenced by Jesus Christ Superstar, because it had anachronisms in it, this production of the Christmas story, the birth of Jesus and the three wise men and all of that. But I was the baby Jesus once. So
I wonder how it feels to play Jesus, like, as a man. Doesn't it? I feel like if you were Christian, that would feel like sacrilege, right?
When you meet Ted Neely, he's leaned so hard because he's played Jesus in the movie and then every year since in some production. And he's like in his 70s now and he still does it. And he really leans into it. He's so gentle and he has his hair and his beard still and he grabs your hand and he holds it and he goes, and women cry because they think he's Jesus. It's great. It's amazing. He's he's so nice. He knows me now because I go to these screenings. He goes like, hey, what's up, brother? But like, he talks, he makes jokes like he's Jesus. He's like, hey, I wish I could give you all wine right now, but I don't have that particular power. Like he like cracks wise. Yeah, it's very funny.
So he's really adopted.
Oh yeah. And I want to give a shout out to a guy I never saw in any other movie. I don't think he stayed along with the musical career or whatever, but Larry Marshall, who plays Simon, who does this crazy, he's just crazy. You got the power and the glory. And he's just, you got the power. He's going crazy during the Simon Zealot song. And it's a really cool song. And I like that one.
Last thing, I liked this movie, Corey. Don't get me wrong. I like this movie.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I just don't think I'd watch it again.
Yeah, and it's about setting and it's about opera. It's sung through. It's hard to sit through, but you smoke a joint and see this in a theater with a bunch of crazy theater people. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
You'll have your chance to do it on 420. There is an opportunity to do that in California, at least. I'll get to that when we wrap up. But Philena, TikToks. What about the TikTok report on this?
Everybody knows this musical. Literally everyone knows it. It's on TikTok. I was kind of obsessed with I Don't Know How to Love Him. So I looked that up like 4 times. And then, but yeah, there's so many. The first one that comes up, a lot of it is the choreography that's getting noticed, specifically this scene. That's
the Simon scene, yeah.
Yeah, the Simon scene.
Yeah.
And my favorite comment is by Lynx, is her name, Lynx. And she says, people don't dance like this anymore.
It's true.
And I love also Maya. Maya says, that white girl, hard eyes emoji.
If I could say something about that scene really quick, there's this Joker. I don't have his name right now in front of me. I do. Philip Tobus, who plays Peter, who's like this big he has the big blonde fro and the big beard. Kind of I'm Peter. He's dancing during that scene, and there's like these professional dancers like flipping and doing, and he's like really dumbly not dancing well. Look for Peter in that dancing. It's so stupid, everybody.
Well, at least he's dancing, you know? I mean, when you're a big lug, you could make up a lot of ground with ladies just even trying to dance, because most dudes just cross their, and I did this for too long in my life, just crossing my arms going,
that's called the Bob Calhoun. I'm
not going to dance. I'm too good for dancing, even though I'm lonely and never getting laid. I'm just going to stand here and scowl and be cool. So give props to Peter there for at least working with what he's got.
Hell yeah. Another TikTok. This one might be my favorite. It says, my sleep paralysis demon manifests as the video of young Lin-Manuel Miranda playing Jesus in what appears to be a Holocaust-themed production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh my fucking God.
And it is a video. It is a clip of him doing that.
Wow, that makes sense. I mean, people have different interpretations. I've seen a post-apocalyptic version. I've seen a lot of versions.
Yeah. And someone says, "What in the Goyim?"
Thank you for watching this movie, Philena and Bob. I appreciate it.
Thank you for putting it on.
I have issues with it, and you know what? I have to thank you for bringing it up. Even though I shot down Godspell.
That one's too deep. I know.
Yeah, it's just too much we could save it for, 2087 when there's the next Easter 420 or whatever it is. Cory, what weed do you recommend with Jesus Christ Superstar?
Joints. Smoke joints. I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints with Christ. I picked up, so I live in a different place now. It's not you can't throw a rock and hit a dispensary in Arkansas. But you got to get your medical thing here. So I have anxiety. So there are dispensaries here. So I have Good Day Baby J's. I like this brand of joints. They've been helping me out. They're just 0.3 grams a joint, so that's tiny. Yeah, which is perfect. And they're called dog walkers. You go out and when you walk your dog, you smoke one. So yeah, that's just smoke a joint with Jesus Christ, because this is a 70s baby. Roll it on a Cheech and Chong record if you can.
That's great advice. What I used was cannellini, strawberry syrup. This Philena, if you come up to the Bay Area, you could have this at some point. Okay. Because this bottle is 1,000 milligrams of THC.
They put a lot of it in packs of punch.
I mean, in a capful, like this capful that you're supposed to have would be like 40 milligrams. So I'm just putting little drops of it under my tongue. I wish it was actually a tincture. It's not. They kind of say it is, but it's really you could put this in your coffee. You could put this in a glass of soda water and make a drink with it. It's sweet. It's sugar free, but it's sweetened with
Is it a syrup?
It's a syrup. Yes. It's a strawberry syrup. You make Slurpees with it, whatever. I got really high. It isn't edible.
Wow.
So, but I was way more high after this movie was over. After the movie was over, I was seeing God.
You didn't time it perfect. So yeah, people time your edible highs. It's a very specific thing.
I took it an hour before and I was feeling high through it, but I wasn't feeling super high, which may have been better. Now, for Freaky Tales, I did this again for Freaky Tales at the Bay Fair in San Leandro. Didn't go to the Grand Lake. Sorry, Grand Lake. I timed it a little better. I still wish I had maybe taken it a half hour earlier than I did, but by the end of Freaky Tales, when Sleepy Floyd of the Golden State Warriors is hacking and slashing all those crackers, I was really fucking high. So it's great. I got it from We Are Hemp in Hayward, which looks like a house. You can miss it. It's just the only reason you could tell it's not a house on the block is there's a security guy in front of it, but they're great guys over there. They didn't, just to clear it up, they didn't give this to me. I bought it. But cannellini strawberry syrup, and there's a bunch of different kinds of cannellini syrups, and they will get you really fucking high, and they also kind of give you that high where you're awake. I'm not just getting really high and then falling asleep, which afflicts people of my age. I'm getting really high and I'm like, let's watch The Last Temptation of Christ now, let's
Right.
go all the way with this stuff. Let's just keep going. But highly recommend it for Freaky Tales more than Jesus Christ Superstar, although it works for that. But I think Cory's right. Smoke joints. I think get some pre-rolls, roll them yourself, however you need to do it.
I'm always one for a joint. That's my favorite way to get stoned.
Jesus Christ Superstar is streaming on Prime, and if you're in Oakland, it's playing at the new Parkway Theater on 4/20 at 9 p.m. You could blaze on the way there and watch the movie in comfy couches while eating pizzas and banh
missing
mi's.
That. I'm going to fly in for that.
Go to the newparkway.com for info.
Damn, that's going to be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Drew Pearson. We bring you this special radio television broadcast in order to give you the very latest information on an amazing phenomenon.
the arrival of a space ship in Washington. The Army has taken every precaution to meet any emergency which may develop. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen, I think something is happening.
I came here to give you these facts. But if you threaten to extend your violence, this earth of yours will be reduced to a burned-out cinder.
On June 24th, 1947, civilian pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 glowing objects flying in a V formation over Mount Rainier in Washington state. He estimated the objects traveled at 1,700 miles per hour and described their motion as like a saucer if you skip it across water. A month later, a newspaper in Roswell, New Mexico, reported that a crashed flying saucer was recovered near a U.S. Army airfield. The Army claimed the debris was from a downed weather balloon, but the public wasn't buying it, and UFO sightings multiplied anyway. In Hollywood, producer Julian Blaustein wanted to capitalize on the new flying saucer phenomenon while also tackling big issues like Cold War paranoia and the threat of nuclear war. The result is this sci-fi classic about an alien Christ-like figure named Klaatu who lands his flying saucer in 50s Washington, D.C. He brings a message of galactic peace and brotherhood, only to get shot for his trouble. And accompanying Klaatu is GORT, a towering robot capable of unleashing laser fire and brimstone on the Earth if Klaatu can't convince humanity to embrace this new covenant. Directed in a neo-realist style by the great Robert Wise, and augmented greatly by its groundbreaking double theremin score by the also great Bernard Herrmann, with Michael Rennie as Klaatu, the 7'7" Lock Martin as GORT, and Patricia Neal as the war widow who can save the Earth by uttering the magic words, Gort Klaatu Barada Nikto. From 20th Century Fox in 1951, this is The Day the Earth Stood Still. Okay, Philena, every time I program a beloved 50s science fiction movie, I'm always bracing like, Philena's probably going to hate this, but let's just get it over with. Sock it to me, Philena. Hit me with your best shot here. Day the Earth Stood Still.
I liked it.
Wow.
There's a lot of men in coats talking in this movie.
There's a lot of men in coats talking. However...
Yeah, Cory just can't get past 50s men talking.
This is the one where it's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
men are talking in this movie. But here, let me tell you how the night went. My dear friend Kenzie came up and she and I were like chatting. I was smoking, and then a big, massive plate of nachos, like a huge tray of nachos, appeared before me as this movie was on, like turning on. And it was just it was a beautiful moment. Watching this movie, eating nachos, and talking through the parts that the men were talking.
Perfect.
It was the perfect viewing experience. I don't think it could have been any better. And we were talking about like, oh man, like it's so funny. This guy Gort is fucking huge, but you could so tell that that's a man in a costume. They didn't even try to put knee hinges on it. I loved it. We were just chatting away through specifically the men talking parts. And I loved that. And, it gave you something to think about. It's like, damn, they have AI patrolling them all the time. This could be the future for us. Having a fucked up AI robot who's gonna over your shoulder all the time, who's gonna kill anybody who's mean at all, ever. In any way.
Die, mean people.
But he's a robot. Without you, what could he do?
There's no limit to what he could do. He could destroy the Earth.
I love it. But my favorite thing that my friend Kenzie said during this movie was, how could they be scared of a man with a transatlantic accent?
Which is the one flaw in this movie. No.
Yeah.
No, they even remark about that when Klaatu shows up as Mr.
Right.
Carpenter at the boarding house. Like, oh,
I recognize a New England accent anywhere. That's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think? What did you and your friends think when Gort, like, they shoot Klaatu, he brings the vibrator to the president? I mean, I have to get that out of the way. I mean, that's a joke to be had. And he brings this device to the president to help the president talk to people in other planets. And they shoot him. The jittery soldier shoots him, and then Gort unleashes the laser eyes. So what did you and your friends think of that?
We loved that it just disappeared. Everything just dematerialized. There's no melting of anything. It was not any kind of. We loved it. It was fun. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's great. Yeah. That's great. This thing still holds up after all these years.
It's just funny. I love it.
Cory, were you surprised at the message of the movie, the kind of anti-military, anti-war from like McCarthyism period from 1951? That they're even commenting on anti-war or anti-military stuff at all in this.
I love that message, and it's even goes further than that. And I think it's like an anti-Earth human message in a lot of ways. Like, it's beyond like the war. But yeah, it's interesting the leadership stuff that they talk about, the world leaders not wanting to get together because of their politics and all that stuff. And like, he just can't, he's like, I have a message that's very important, and they can't get it together enough to just say, all right, we'll all meet in one place. Or that seems to be like a main conceit that sends him on his adventure, Klaatu on his adventure, to say, okay, well, I got to see what real people are like. I do think the kid is annoying, but it's also great. It's a great tool. That little Billy's a good actor, actually, for a kid. Yeah, he does some good stuff, but it's funny how it's like alien man and little boy teaches old alien man about Earth. It's funny. That's my favorite part of the movie, actually.
Yeah. Can we also talk about how terrible of a mother this lady is?
Why? Because
she's leaving her fucking son with some random man that just came in last night.
He seems like a nice man. He has a New England accent. She's got to go to work, and things were more lax back then. It's a different time. Okay.
I know, but this is like, wasn't this like right before the milk carton kid stuff? Whatever.
No, that was still 30 years later. Like,
I
mean, people just like, as a kid in the 70s, like 28 years after this, I was just left alone a lot. Like, mom was at work, we had single parents. Nobody could afford childcare really. So once you got to be like 9 or 10, you were just, okay, kid, here's the keys.
Damn.
Like, it's interesting that like that the people in this, like, she was like, she a single mother?
Yeah,
her husband died.
Right, and she's dating, kind of dating the guy, right? The other guy.
She's affianced, right?
Oh, she is, okay. But like, it's interesting, like, she's a single mother, working mother, and this kid is like kind of on his own. That's an interesting angle for the time too,
It made the movie, she's, okay, in the 50s, in 1951.
More realistic, yeah.
Being a war widow is the way you could be a single mom and not have any kind of stigma, like, oh, she's terrible, okay. She's some kind of harlot. And so there's all these single mothers around, and watching this in the 70s, where most of my friends were raised in single parent households, usually single mothers, as I was, and so it made the movie more relatable. Like 25 years later, it's like, oh, okay, that's mom has to date these creeps sometimes, and it never works out. Hugh Marlowe as her fiance, he is the Judas of the movie, and is not as sympathetic as the Judas of the other movies. He's definitely a bad guy. you know, you're gonna thank me someday. I'm gonna be a real big hero. You know, he's pretty terrible. And she seems so much more. Patricia Neal is one of the best actresses ever. And she just has so much more going on in her face and in her eyes through this movie than he does. He's just a block of wood. And she had a stroke after this movie, like a debilitating stroke, where and she had to relearn how to speak, and she still, I think, won an Oscar for HUD. Like we don't talk about her as much as we should, but she's just amazing in everything she's in. She maybe doesn't get enough to do here, although she has some big moments. But
there's a sense of urgency in those final scenes there that she brings in when she's saying the magic words to Gort. It's iconic. So it's amazing. Yeah.
I will say, I wish she got, like, come on, girl, get to it sooner. You don't have to walk all the way up to him. You could just be like, hey,
that's what I was thinking. So frustrating. I mean, the most frustrating thing is that there's only 2 dummy guards watching Gort in the spaceship.
Yeah,
that's like, it's such a realistic, they try to make it realistic and then they do that. It's so dumb.
Exactly.
It's also because Gort could take out a whole army and it would have been fine and that would have been more realistic.
There is the Keanu Reeves remake from like 2005, and I
bought that by mistake on Amazon.
Oh shit! No. How is that? I didn't watch it since. Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah. I thought of watching it, and I just wasn't like I don't. You know, it wasn't at my local library, and I just wasn't that into it.
It's just Carpenter going like whoa through the whole thing, learning about Earth. Right? It's this whoa, you kids, whoa.
To back up a little bit, Klaatu lands, he gets shot, Gort melts a bunch of tanks and cannons into slag, but the humans, the military people, take Klaatu, the alien, to Walter Reed Hospital in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of location shooting, which is rare for the time in Washington, D.C. in this. And Klaatu, you know, he can get out of anything. Like, these people, we're just like really primitive to him. So he escapes and he ingratiates himself into Washington, D.C. of the time. He's trying to figure out humanity. And he turns up at this boarding house, which those were common. I think we wouldn't have so many homeless people if there were still boarding houses. And so everybody eats at the communal table, and it's like living in a bed and breakfast is what these boarding houses were like. And so he befriends Patricia Neal and her kid. You know, there is this kind of American exceptionalism thing, because he still has to acknowledge, like, the movie is very, very anti-military and anti-foreign policy of the time and anti-nuclear war, but they have to sugarcoat it a bit with Klaatu admiring Abraham Lincoln, and they go to Arlington to see the dad's grave and everything. So they still have to acknowledge America as a force for could be a force for good if it's given the right direction, at least. So
yeah, and that stuff is kitschy. That's how I respond to it. You know, I don't respond to it as like, oh, this is annoying. Fuck this picture. It's like, it's a part of science fiction movies and the era. And so it's fun to sit through in a sad, kitschy, existentially horrible way.
Yeah, it's, I think when I would watch it earlier, and not just as a child, but even as like an adult, I accepted that. I accepted this idea that America could, you know, there's this good America that we need to bring out, that America is this force for good in the world. I was brainwashed by that. Watching it now, it's just really hard to believe any of that. I mean, it's, you know, in the world we're in now, it's like, Gort, kill us now. Just do your job. We're, you know, unleash hell, Gort. And
the music is one of the most amazing pieces of music of all time. The score is out of this world. I mean, no pun intended, but it's like, so it's way better than any score for a science fiction movie should be. But Bernard Herrmann was not joking around with this theremin score. It's the real deal, beautiful piece of American composing. So yeah, the movie would not be as good without this music.
No, it wouldn't. And double theremins, there's 2 theremins plus other orchestration.
Yeah.
Bernard Herrmann would use unusual instrumentation. He wasn't going to start with the full symphony orchestra all the time. His score to Psycho, which I saw on Halloween at the San Francisco Symphony. They did Psycho. That only has strings. There's no horns in it. It's all strings. It's kind of quiet. Like in the movie, it's really shrieking. But when you see it performed live, because strings aren't as loud as horns, it's quieter music. But it was pretty amazing. For Jason and the Argonauts, the Harryhausen movie, all horns, no strings.
Wow, that's interesting.
He wanted that big epic da da da, and also timpani drums, of course. But yeah, he would, when you see them recording this score, it's two guys with theremins and then just some other not random, but some other miscellaneous accompanists.
The harp is incredible in the score. It makes you feel like you're in space. It's amazing. The inside of the spaceship's really cool. I wish there was more alien stuff, but this is a classic. You can't beat it. Bob, the director and Robert Wise, right? That's his name?
Yes.
And Norman Jewison, you said there were some parallels there, you think, maybe with their career?
Well, they just are very eclectic and very versatile directors. They directed Robert Wise. I mean, besides The Day the Earth Stood Still and The Andromeda Strain, which are his science fiction movies, he also directed the noir Western Blood on the Moon with Robert Mitchum. Mm-hmm. He directed some horror movies early on in his career for Val Lewton at RKO, the very atmospheric horror movie producer. He directed Body Snatcher with Boris Karloff and Curse of the Cat People, but he also directed West Side Story, the original version of that, and he directed The Sound of Music. So like Norman Jewison, he goes from these serious films, action films, science fiction films, crime films, to directing like these classic musicals. And just very, very versatile director. Also directed a lot of noirs and a lot of crime movies and war movies and everything. Run Silent, Run Deep is maybe the best submarine movie. You could say Sound of Music is maybe the best of those musicals. Day the Earth Stood Still, some people would say it's the best science fiction film, and just on. And Norman Jewison is the same way, where In the Heat of the Night is a fucking awesome movie, maybe in my top 10. Yeah. Other people would say for Norman Jewison that Moonstruck.
Moonstruck was like a phenomenon when I was a kid. It was this huge movie. And Cher won an Oscar. Yeah, it's amazing.
When you talk about those guys' careers, people are surprised that the same person did all those movies.
So you hear that, directors, be more versatile.
Yeah.
You hear that, Wes Anderson? Same shit
Quentin
every time.
Tarantino.
Yeah. Do some Hallmark movies. Yeah. Do some slapstick comedies. Do some musicals.
I'd love to see a Kubrick Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, I think.
Yeah,
he's alive.
Yeah,
no, he's not alive. He's been dead for a while.
Okay.
He was taken out because he exposed Hollywood in that Tom Cruise movie.
Finally. Oh, can we also talk about fucking Klaatu's fit?
What about what happened?
His suit?
His suit.
Oh,
his
okay.
suit glittery.
Oh! I thought you meant his businessman Earth suit. So I'm yeah, that's a cut that's actually in style right now.
Well, yes, but also his fucking glittery turtleneck, Steve Jobs looking ass.
Oh my god, that's why Steve Jobs probably looks like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
you just unlocked that.
I bet you that's it.
Yeah.
I like his helmet. It's cool. His helmet's cool.
His helmet's
like
pretty
frosted
cool.
glass kind of thing.
Philena, are there any TikToks about this?
There was one that I could find. There were a bunch of TikToks about the Day the Earth Stood Still, but it was all the 2005 or 2008 version.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's always Gort coming out of it's just clips of Gort coming out of the spaceship. Frank D2964 says we need Gort.
Thank you, Frank D2964. I understand where you're coming from, man.
Let's see some other good comments. But pretty much everyone is just saying this is the greatest sci-fi movie of all time.
Did Gort take the world by storm? Did like kids love Gort and draw Gort on their notebooks and wear Gort shirts and stuff? No, right?
No, not really. I mean, it's definitely, this movie is an influence on a lot of kids. I mean, I think it's shaped my politics for better or worse.
Well, I mean, there's so many takeoffs of it I've seen before I saw this movie, from the Muppets and the Simpsons and Mars Attacks and everything. You know what I mean? So it set up a lot of stereotypes.
Well, and also a lot of like people who encountered aliens, like the early people who claimed they saw aliens, and they're basically. There's a documentary on the Day the Earth Stood Still Blu-ray I checked out from the library about the, Roswell and the early alien sightings. But one of these guys, he's basically just going around saying he saw Klaatu. It's like, he's just reciting the aliens that visited him were basically saying the same shit that Klaatu says. So it influenced UFO cults too.
Yeah, it sure did.
There's a comment on this TikTok. And then I need to talk about this TikTok page for a sec. So Francis says, fun Gort trivia. There were 2 Gort costumes, one with a back zipper and one with a front zipper, so the costume would appear seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, right?
But you can see the zipper in one point.
You can totally see the zipper. Yeah. I know.
When he's carrying Patricia Neal, because they have to do the iconic monster carrying the woman shot. And you could also see wires. Because the actor who played Gort, he was 7'7". He was a doorman at some Hollywood hotel, and he was tall, but he wasn't really that strong. He wasn't like LeBron James, and they even say that in the commentary track. Like, there weren't these 7-foot tall basketball players back then. There was just this one guy who was this tall, and we got him. But they had to support with wires. And of course, if you're watching it in high res and even DVD, you maybe couldn't have seen it on TV in the 70s, but you can definitely see it now on these higher def formats. So, and you can see the kind of big ugly ass zipper up the front of one of those shots. You can. So look for it. It's fun. It's fun.
I know. And I was telling my friends when I was watching this, if you're from this other planet that has all of this incredible, amazing technology, and you have the worst fucking way to close your clothing, zippers suck. I hate zippers. They always clog. They always get snagged on stuff. They drive me crazy. This is an anti-zipper household. So there was, Francis commented that, and Disturbed Earth, the creator, just did a 100 emoji to that statement. And then I was like, what is Disturbed Earth? What is this? They do AI art. It's all like AI art and like clips of movies. And yeah, it just says artist, monster fan, AI art. You're not an artist if you do AI art.
Yeah, no. I mean, their heart's in the right place for me on some things, but I mean, the kids call that boomer art, right? They call the AI.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that.
Because boomers don't recognize that it's not real.
Like David Gerald, who wrote Trouble with Tribbles, the classic Star Trek episode, a comedy episode. He's a cool guy, but he posts a lot of boomer art on Facebook. I mean, I've been probably following him on Facebook forever because I met him at a comic convention once or something. And he posts like, oh, this is what Calvin and Hobbes would look like if they were, like we know what a blonde kid and a tiger look like. Like the cartoon is the point. I kind of surprised David Gerald would care about this stuff, but boomers love that shit. They just fucking go ape for AI art. So, Philena.
Yes.
I'm glad that you and your friends enjoyed the Day the Earth Stood Still. That really does my heart good.
I'm so glad.
I'll take it. But what weed did you smoke or eat, or what strain got you through the Day the Earth Stood Still and that big tray of nachos?
Yeah. Oh God. That was, dude, shout out to Sage. They make killer nachos.
I want to try them nachos.
Yeah, you got to get the nachos. Got to fly back out. So I smoked from Rebud, my favorite, Canna Botanica.
Woo!
We've been getting the sativa shakes because it makes me happy. I feel a lot better when I'm smoking sativas. I don't know what it is. I just feel a lot lighter. Anyway, Jack Herrera.
Oh, Good choice.
Jack Herrera. You know, I was kind of bummed I didn't watch these movies sooner because we had Blue Dream, Bob.
Yeah.
I know it's your favorite.
I'm going to check out the Canna Botanica Jack Herrera, though. Because that is as close to what people in the 70s seeing this movie on Channel 44 were smoking. So, yeah, reliving their childhoods, these boomer hippie dudes who were just in a production of Jesus Christ Superstar, getting lit on a Saturday night for the monstrous movie with The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's what's going on with Jack Herrera. Cory.
Now I'm in the South. I have different brands of stuff. So I got this cool, I really like this brand of disposable vape called Electric Honey, and it kind of looks like Gort. You can see.
It does.
It does. It looks like Gort.
So yeah.
Gort.
Yeah, my vape looks like Gort, you guys see.
Gort Klaatu.
Electric Honey, they retail for $34 for a gram. Very good stuff.
And, you know, I am remiss that the Gort Klaatu Barada Nikto, that's a running gag in the Evil Dead movies.
Evil Dead, right?
Yeah,
you read that and you unleash the Deadites upon the earth.
Yeah, those are the
or
words.
Or put some back or something, I forget. I don't know.
I see.
And Bruce Campbell can never remember it. So he's always fucking it up and making the Deadites do even more fucked up shit. Stupid Ash. Yeah, stupid Ash. Okay, The Day the Earth Stood Still is available for rent from Amazon and YouTube. Plus, there might be a DVD rip of it on archive if you look hard enough. Plus, you can check it out on disc for free from your local library like I did. I checked out a Blu-ray of The Day the Earth Stood Still from San Lorenzo Public, the same library where Proud Boy incel dipshits terrorized a bunch of children during Drag Queen Storytime in March 2022. Seriously.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's still there. Seriously, fuck those guys, but support your local library and physical media. Okay, thanks so much, Cory and Philena, for celebrating this high holiday with me.
I hope you find all your eggs, everybody. And Bob, what's in store for next time on the show?
We will be back in May with something completely different. Philena, why don't you tell us about it?
It's time. The Philena Apocalypse 3 is coming!
Oh my God! Jesus, help us!
I'm doing theremin music.
He can't. He cannot help you. He is risen, but then he's going down because I'm killing him.
Oh no!
I am definitely queuing up Hurricane Bianca.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Neither.
No, I mean I did after you told me about it, and I'm actually looking forward to Hurricane Bianca. I think I need some Hurricane.
Really?
Bianca.
I trust your judgment. I will.
I'm there for Hurricane Bianca. I don't know whatever else you're gonna throw at us, but I'm there for that.
We'll see. I still have to figure out because I want to find something that fits the vibe. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I have ideas, but I'm keeping them to myself because it's the Philena Apocalypse. But
we can chat. We'll chat. I'll text you later about it.
Yeah, but yeah, Philena Apocalypse. Philena, why don't you take us home this time?
You know what? And you could take all of that and stick that in your pen and vape it right here on Old Movies for Young Stoners.
And the first thing everybody will want to know about it is, how do Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo look in drag? And the answer is, well, have a look for yourself.